Yo. No, it's I'm just trying to get it's been a while since I've been like in Maya and like in scripts and actually making games for reals. I feel like a lot of times I'm just like having meetings and talking and making documents or making John make documents like a jerk. I'm all like, yeah, that's great, write that down. And I feel like a total ass. But yeah, so it's kind of cool to actually have some code. See, I don't even have any code out. That's terrible. I was like, yeah, see, you caught me just as I was starting. I swear I was starting. Yeah, it's going much better. It's going much better. We had a meeting with Tim this morning, and yeah, it was good because he I didn't know what I was expecting, really, because I feel like I've been using the term story lord, like somebody who knows what they're doing about telling stories, and how we don't have one, and that Tim is the story lord, and it was kind of good to sit down with somebody who is really good at that and walk him through it, and I thought it was really good too because Derek I just was really trying to get him to do it, just totally own it and do it himself. So we had a pregame meeting, and I was just like, okay, tell it to me, tell me the thing, give me the thing, and he walked through it and was doing so great. I was like, yes, this is gonna be awesome. And then Tim came in, and he did the same thing. And the best part was that when we got to sort of the puzzly kind of part, the first puzzle of it, Derek was like, okay, yeah, you do this, and then you get this object in your inventory, and then Tim was like, and then I take it over there and I do this. And it was like without missing a beat. It was super awesome.
Those will get put in your inventory.
Mm-hmm. Now, can I go back to the hub room and go back to
Yeah.
Oh my god, I just solved a puzzle.
Yep.
Yeah!
There it is.
I was worried about that one not making any fucking sense, but you just did it.
We pitch it to him, and he's like, it's fine. Don't why are you guys freaking out?
Okay.
So that's cool. So I think the door transitions will be really cool, and yeah, and I think our stand-up is right now.
Okay, yes.
Thanks, Tim.
That sounds awesome.
Thank you.
All I did was say that sounds good, but
Sometimes that's what you need.
cool. I'm excited. Who's your sound guy?
Paul.
Okay.
Mr. O'Rourke. Really, it's about turkey legs and wrenches in 3D space. I don't think that it would hit the original vision. Yeah, it's just gonna be more of a adventure game, where the puzzles are, each one feels more one-off and different, but they all have this surrealist thing, with the key. So I don't know. So now we're gonna try to make it. In 6 days. We're try to make it in 6 days, and then we'll see what happens. I think it'll be good. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Oh. And then you have to find you have to hold your arm next to a clock, and then and then it becomes a thing. See, I guess that one's free. That one's for the full game. That was for the full game.
Is this a puzzle? Does he have a duck on a pedestal?
Yeah, the duck on the pedestal got modeled.
Has he seen a racer?
Bad.
Oliver had the good suggestion of take stock on Tuesday, be where are we at, and then what can we realistically finish, which I guess that would be the halfway point for AF. So we're gonna do that and see what we can do. I think we can get, if not all of it, I think we can do most of it. And I think it'll be cool either way. It'll either make more sense or less sense, story-wise. But I think the core puzzle stuff will be working. So.
Could you an exterior wall, and we could do some. Have you seen the volumetric light yet?
No, I haven't.
Matt's working on the volumetric spotlight, and I think when you see that, you're going to want to use it.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
I know. I'm excited for it.
Yeah. So we could just do something like that, really stylized and really high contrast.
Yeah, it's just black, right? Yeah. It's just totally black. And so
they're on the roof. It's a helicopter landing.
Yeah, yeah, and it would also be another just weird thing that happens where you're going into the back room of the office, and then it turns out that that's all spoilers. Potatoes. It turns out that it's all open, and you're why is this open? It would make no sense that it opens to the sky, right? And then the potato, comes in. Is that? I don't know.
We could do that. Yeah, we could totally do that.
It's weird. It's mysterious. People will be like, oh. They'll be like, Derek Brand, you're a genius. That's what somebody's gonna say that right at this part of the game.
Yep. Yep.
They're gonna drop their mouse.
Yep.
Hopefully they're not holding their mouse up like this. That would be weird. Maybe they're gonna pick up their mouse and drop it and say, holy shit, Derek Brand, you're a genius!
Thanks.
That's what's going to happen.
It's totally gonna happen.
Yep. Okay.
So yeah, still kind of working at that part, but I feel like
That's awesome, man.
it'd be cool to have them go on a little bit of a character change.
It was really fun. Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
Gabe brought this in for me today. This is an amazing hat. It's my horse hat. In case you missed the horses here, there's horses here. And in case you missed that, it says horse. So apparently he picked this up for like $3 somewhere, maybe some truck stop. I don't know where, but it's amazing. And America, yeah, I don't know. I blend into the woods or next to some horse wallpaper. So this is gonna be my my steed development hat. I'll be wearing it for the rest of the week, and it'll be fun. Let's see what happens. The basic stubbed animations for the attack, so you can do a quick stomp or a hold down stomp, and you can kick.
Oh wow. All right.
So that's gonna be cool. And now I'm gonna play with trying to get you to be able to go from the front attack to back attack, back and forth pretty quick, so you can get a bit of a bucking bronco action.
But there's definitely enemies running around, and as soon as me and Ray can get some of that, the goblin character going, then yeah, we'll probably be able to go around and kick some enemies. But right now, the horse just kind of kicks in midair. Doesn't really do anything. He's a cute little guy.
Yeah, and the cool thing is he's got eyes. We can do some like.
Oh, it like make him really twitchy and stuff.
And yeah, and he like has his lids and everything, so we can do some
wow.
things. So they should be fun. But I think it should be pretty fast and frantic, and like they're totally,
So you imagine him kind of like really twitchy, like.
Yeah, I think so. Snappy, like really snappy, and I think that would be fun. It'll be fun to kick him. So, and then we still have the boy. We still have the boy to do, and he'll come online next week at some point, hopefully earlier in the week. Just because they're still trying to get some of the horse stuff hooked up. They're trying to get the turns to work, and so I think it's a good time to move on to these guys, just so that they can start getting the combat working with the actual character that's going to be in the game.
And he's only got it one direction, so that way it feels a little bit weird. Sometimes it would try to turn right.
I was trying to do right.
Yeah, he's only authored it at one direction.
Okay, sweet.
Maybe I can get him to at least reverse that. But I'm going to start doing the running turns next.
Condensed version of code animation that's just for like
Sweet.
Sounds good, John. Thanks,
Awesome.
Let me know. I think I roughly remember where that stuff was. It's annoying because you have to like manually stuff.
Definitely running the horse in the environment feels good, and I think this change that that John did by setting the camera offset to the left really gives it a nice sense of speed and perspective. The other thing we're gonna have to, looking at the rider, the other thing we're gonna have to figure out is, when you have no rider, let's hope it doesn't crash. Yay. The horse is definitely the focal point, right? So you're definitely, the horse feels like the main character. But once you add the rider, partly because it's very distracting with the colors right now, but it's still like, the horse seems a little less of a main character. So that's something that we're gonna have to figure out, whether, is the character gonna be skinnier or smaller, and that'll add more emphasis to the horse. Regardless of what kind of rider you have, the horse's head, you don't notice that as much either. So, whereas when there is no rider, you definitely see it a lot more. And I don't know what tricks that we can do to make the horse feel more like the main character when you do have a rider on there. But that's kind of one of the fun challenges of this project. And you do spend, the way that John has a lot of the scenarios set up, you do spend about half of the kind of the scenario in the prototype without the rider, so that could help as well, because you end up dropping him off and then wandering around the world. So that could also be where like the realization for the player kicks in, like, right, the writer isn't the main character, and then the horse is. So, yeah, it's gonna be fun seeing this kind of storybook world come to life, and you see more and more as every day from day one to now.
Okay, so I'll finish up.
Okay.
This guy,
I don't have the picture. I'm not like, I think we need to make
this is what
him
Bagel
a little
came up
bit.
with. So I was sort of like, I think the personality underlying is fine, but the look is nothing.
Yeah.
Like he won't look like this.
I want somebody like repressed, like they're awkward and creepy because they're so repressed. Like they're just they're not okay with themselves. Like they laugh awkwardly or like inappropriately.
Well, initially,
and-
this came from your lecherous creep idea.
Yeah, it's
so
related.
we were like, who's a lecherous creep? And Bagel's like, what about Worm Tongue from
Okay.
Lord of the Rings? So
Yeah.
he was a starting point, but I want to think of someone with a better.
I know a couple of girls who would go for that though.
Yeah. You're not saying any names.
I'm not. No, it's not me. It's actually not me. But
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. Like with most games, you have a pre-production period where you can just dig through reference for months or at least weeks. And here we had like basically no time. You know, it's like, you know, bone up on your history, figure out who these people are, figure out what the characters are, start writing them all on the first day. So I'm kind of like, you know, yesterday I was writing and I had Dr. Strangelove up on the other monitor while I was writing just to kind of have the dialogue drilling through my head, trying to get the vibe for it. And then this dude, I have to figure something out. He was going to be the sort of questionably sane guy.
okay. So this guy. So I had some ideas for him, and I think he would just be like, not creepy, but really like have penetrating stares, like maybe long pauses between like, let's say you answer something and he'd be like, and then he would answer, and he would always have something like he's not quite
For
sane.
what reason?
Because he's extremely perceptive. Like his entire job revolves around reading people from the smallest bits of clues and understanding them. And
So he's processing data with that pause, or he's way ahead of you and like.
He's not just processing data. He's also trying to make you uncomfortable. Like he's a master manipulator. He tries to get people in a certain state where they can disclose more information than they're willing to. Like he's not somebody you'd maybe be interested to be around. And maybe that's kind of sad. Maybe you find out that he actually has some really cool books or like really interesting stuff at his house if you put a search out on him, and like it'd be somebody
Interesting books.
But interesting books and just I don't know. That's a stupid example.
Like
I
he's
guess.
deeper.
He's deeper than he lets on, but no one wants to hang out with him because he's so intimidating as a person to be around, or like just unsettling to be around.
Okay.
Not creepy, but just really like you just don't want somebody
You don't
to
want
be
him to get
reading
dirt
you
on you.
constantly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You know, I'm a little nervous right now because it's taken 2 days just to develop the characters to a point where I feel like I can start writing, and we have a lot of scenarios to write, so it'll be, maybe some weekend work. I don't know. Well, scenarios are kind of like the data structure, I guess, for how we're moving the story along. There's, you'll start the game and you'll be presented with something to do, and that thing to do is a scenario. Like you might get a call from a minister and they need you to decide, like I think one of the starting scenarios is one of the ministers was killed during your rise to power and you need to now hire a new minister. So that's kind of a scenario.
I think most of the stuff in the game is on a pretty sound conceptual basis, but that's the whole game design thing of like, no plan survives contact with reality. So, we actually still have to test our ideas, and see what works and what's not. Some stuff might just end up feeling like, this doesn't feel like a real consequential choice, now that we've actually got it in the game. Other stuff is like, oh, well, yeah, this is unexpectedly cool, so let's do as much of this as we can. Stuff like that. So, what's clearly an old, beautiful Eastern Orthodox church with a cross, with crosses and strategic points, but the crosses have been removed.
I hesitate to involve religion into it because I think it's a little bit too like there's some really terrible things that happened during the revolution for sure, but maybe it would be interesting to just have like a palace destroyed because it's a sign that like the old world order is over. Like I think that might be a little. I feel more comfortable representing, even though it's like kind of maybe a coward's way out of this situation. But I don't know.
I mean, it's a substantive and interesting topic, but you have to really commit to it. Otherwise, you'd be whitewashing it anyway. In Mnemonic, Steed, and Little Pink Best Buds, you're controlling a character either from first or third person, and if you've ever done one of those, it's like if you've got a little dude running around on screen, like if your game is about a little dude running around on screen, you get that dude and a little level for them to be in, and then you're off to the races, kind of. I mean, obviously there's a ton of work to really make a game of any sort like that good, but you're kind of like, that's a real foot in the door moment. Whereas when your game is like made out of these systems that aren't necessarily any more abstract, but you experience them at a level of remove, you end up having to like construct the language by which the player interacts with the game world, whereas when you have an avatar, those questions are already answered for you. You've got like, okay, well, how are we controlling this avatar? Even if it's a turn-based game, you're still like, okay, I'm moving this unit around or something. When you don't have a game world in the same sense that you do in a game with an avatar and pre-authored levels, you're starting from less, and you kind of have to construct more out of whole cloth conceptually. But yeah, I think, on the other hand, we don't have like a whole bunch of like 3D animations to do. We've definitely got a pretty significant amount of art content in the game, but it's not like that, oh gosh, we've got to have like a whole team of artists like cranking away on stuff the way that you would for some of these other game worlds.
I really think maybe we should just stick to simple smile, simple frown, and then simple like real small like ma 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 ma.
Can that whole mouth be like lowered a little bit? It's higher up than his drawings too. You know what I mean? It's like more in between the eyes. I don't know if that is a non-issue for you, then we don't. Oh, whoa, that's cool. And then you just rotate the eyes. Oh, that's awesome. Cool. Yeah, that works really cool. Sweet. That came out pretty rad.
I think we should talk about the script stuff, because this all looks good to me.
All right, cool.
Awesome.
Where'd you get?
Can we say who we got?
You can say you got.
You're Harry.
Harry.
Harry. Nice.
I used to be Harrier.
Tall bud. Oh, that's typecasting.
What's your guy?
Butt face. I won the butt face lottery.
Perfect.
He seemed pretty confident with his choice.
I'm Pretty Lips. Yay! Pretty Lips. That's my wife's nickname for me.
I drew them first. I gave them each some kind of prop that I thought was funny or interesting. And so I'm looking at the guy, and you start writing it. Oh, he lost his eye. What does that mean? And for me, it's just like, make it deep, make it real. Otherwise, it's not interesting to me, and it's flat, and it's not funny. And like everything's better when it has that extra level.
It's nice to meet you. My name is Wetballs, because my eyeballs cry so much.
That's perfect, man. It's really good.
That's amazing.
He's crying all the time. Why is he sad? I figure it out. I'll think of why I'm sad about something, and then write it in. And also, like, I was imagining that water, like, touching his face, like, every day and night for his entire life, and what it would be doing to his face.
Sometimes I feel like my face is eroding, like Pangea. You know about Pangea?
That's awesome. Cool. Cool, man. I haven't thought about Pangea in a really long time. Y'all gonna put a little picture of Pangea in the bottom of the screen? Right here. Right here. Right here.
Okay. If you read your script, it says his name is Buttface.
Yeah. But his face is really just on the other side of his
Okay, that's
head.
all it is. All right.
And he's frustrated.
I got that far. I just couldn't tell
He feels as though
if I should be making sounds as if out of a butt.
Maybe a little bit. Everything you say, I think, should be through like gritted teeth.
Okay.
Hey, be friends with me.
Hey, be my best friend. Oh, sorry. I
Try
can't do that. Give me a second.
It's I don't expect. There's a lot of like attention, so it's hard to like get into it. But we'll.
Should I be yelling?
You could try yelling. If
Okay.
that makes it feel angrier.
Hey, be best friends with me. I want to be your best friend. Talk to me, pick me. I want to be best friends, okay? Choose me as your best friend.
I think that volume's right. He sounds a little
Too
whiny
happy?
and
Yeah.
You can go, "Ah!"
Okay.
Try just
All right.
growling first.
All right. I want to be best friends, okay? Choose me as your best friend.
That was
Anything
really
that
awkward.
lilts up like that,
Yeah.
best friend, it should go down.
Should
Be
go
my
down.
best friend.
Okay,
I want to be best friends with you.
All right. Hey, be best friends with me. I want to be best friend. Oh wait, sorry.
I want to be best friends, okay?
Okay.
Choose me as your best friend.
Okay.
Be best friends with me.
Choose me as your best friend.
How loud can you yell, Ben?
I don't know.
I don't yell very much.
Choose me as your best friend.
Okay. Choose me as your best friend. Choose me as your best friend.
Let's do the whole thing like that, dude.
Okay.
Want to?
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
All right. 1 sec.
You got this.
Choose me as your best friend.
Dude, that's it. Dude, he's awesome.
All right. All right.
Let's
good.
keep going. And
All
then
right.
it's a lot of that. So it's more of that, I think.
Okay.
I think today was the first real day where people started colliding, like the bubbles started colliding. We started like comparing a lot of stuff. I think we've been comparing stuff all along the way, but today seemed like there were a lot of meetings. And it was cool, and we all got on the same page with stuff.
Dude, the world looks great. I'm just thinking about the dudes, the buds. They look kind of CG still. CG lit, normal CG stuff.
Yeah. Well, do you remember that show, The Mind's Eye? Welcome to the Mind's Eye.
Oh yeah,
man. I've got a VHS cassette.
Yeah, it's so good.
I used to watch that over and over.
It's totally like The Mind's Eye.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that in a long time.
Every part of the game is impossible to finish. That's what we're figuring out. Dialogue is impossible. We've already sort of like figured out that to record, because it took 4 hours. Wait, it took 2 hours to record like a third of the script for one character. And I haven't done the math yet because I just don't even want to try. It's impossible to record everything. We're going to get one character all the way through and get a lot of depth for one character, big leg, which is cool, man, which is all it really needs. It's a prototype. Everyone's like, we can do it. We can finish the game. And I keep going like, it looks awesome right now. Like, and this is better than I expected when we entered into it. And it's like, it's totally rad looking right now. But it's not done. It's full of glitchy stuff, which I think is cool. And Tim said it before that people like in the first video that people like playing these games because you can kind of see the gears. And you can see our gears.
Like that pops up immediately, which is kind of bad.
Yeah, but
Like, we
dude,
almost
it's cool
made
for
it.
AF. I mean, compared to all the other shit that's going to be broken, that's going to be a tiny amount of things.
So what's the popping?
Like go down to the crouch mode. So what's that like? Ugh. It's like you crouch down and they're like, ugh. Is that because we changed the that? Is that?
Yeah. It's because the crouch down animation doesn't line up with the crouch breathe. And I wanted that crouch breathe like that zoomed forward, right?
So do you really want the crouch breathe that zoom forward though? Because it sounded like you said you wanted it pulled back because you felt like it was too close.
If you pull it back like that far, like you can't touch the dude. And I guess like maybe we could fake the touch, but I don't know, man. Like if you want actual intersection, like if you want that, it has to be that pulled in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like we're pulled back this far and you're like pretending to run this bed.
Okay, the crouch is fine. I think it's fine. I'll just match the where you put the crouch. Especially if you can move the camera, it's fine. There's no reason.
Okay, I'll put in move the camera and then I have to move on.
Yes.
Because I just wasted an entire day.
Yeah, it's fine. It looks good. It looks awesome.
Okay.
Dude, it looks rad. And then for the house. So what you're saying for the house is I'm going to do animations and then the origin of the house, their starting positions, all their like... How the fuck are you gonna
Everything
How are you
will-
going to set those up?
Everything will be relative to the center of the house. So you bring in the house in
Are you
Maya.
sure about all this? Because if we did
No.
cutscene files...
How do you want to do it? Dave wanted to talk about there's a scene in the house, and Penn and Dave were like scripting it all out, and Dave wanted to know how to author the animations. But it's a crazy amount of animations, and so like we have to make the decision and go with it, and it has to be right because there's not going to be enough time to do it twice.
Here's the origin where the house is. This is like, you know, like, this would be cool because if we do it the way that we normally do things, the house position can never move ever again.
Can never move?
Can never move. And the actual animations will be like, like here's the cross section 000 in Maya, and the house is like way over here in our world, and the animators will actually animate all the animations to take place in this part of the world.
Yeah.
And if somebody moves the house, all those animations.
Yeah, but this is world space. So if you imagine that this is Maya and then the house sits right here, that's like model space. So if we do them in model space, you can move the house all around. And then whenever I play an animation, I set his position to the exact same position of the house, play the animation, and the animation will have position offsets in it.
Are you sure that you can do that though?
I'm positive I can do that, but...
And stringing multiple together as a cutscene?
Well, that's what I was worried about, the blending. We can make it work.
Okay, we can do that. I hate making these decisions.
You just can only make it once.
Yeah.
It just has to work.
Alright, let's try it. I hope it works.
It'll work. It'll work. It'll work. It'll work. It'll work. It'll work.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll work. There's nothing in particular. Actually, what Brandon's doing is probably crazy hard. I'm really glad that I don't have to do any of that because I don't know how it would work. But nothing in particular is very difficult. It's like all of these very common video game systems that tend to be like large things. Like flicking a dude. Like that requires like a nice collision system, and Penn really wanted Ragdoll, but like Ragdoll's like a huge system that isn't in our engine, and so it's like, yeah, I guess we could build a solution for that, but you're going to lose 3 other systems. We have to tell this huge story, and a huge story is like cutscenes and animation and dialogue, and like those are huge things, and so nothing's particularly difficult. It's really just make sure we have enough of his like story so that the whole idea is captured, and then figure out like what we can do at each point to convey that message as we go.
Well, he said that he thought this one was like the least
commercially viable.
Yeah.
yeah.
But people voted for it.
People voted for it, yeah. And I'm curious what that was, what that reasoning was. Like maybe it was the interactions with the dudes. It was probably that.
I think the people that support AF are just looking for like something different a lot of times.
New things, yeah. Yeah. So they're not going to pick Bad Golf 3 in 2015?
Speaking of which.
Bad Golf was my pitch last year. And it's just an idea I've had for a long time. I always thought it'd be fun to play like a really traditional kind of like Mario Golf type of game, but then have like the full open course and then be able to drive like your golf carts around and then smash into your buddies and stupid stuff. But it didn't get picked last year, and then this year, whatever, I just thought it'd be funny to repitch it. So Bad Golf 2 didn't get picked. But I had this joke of like, if I just wear the shirt all through AF, like it'll be on camera, like people know about it, people will be ready. But when I like showed off this shirt, the community got like a huge kick out of it. And so someone in like the Twitch chat was like, we should just make the game. They started this forum thread, which is now like 10 pages. And they were talking about, at first they're talking about like the legality of it and like, what would this thing do? And I was like, yes, please do this. Like, you make games because you want to play the games, but in reality, like, if I come up with a game idea and I don't get to make it, I really want somebody else to make it just so I can play it. And so this, I was like, oh my God, please make it. And Justin and Tim kind of give a thumbs up on it. And so they started running. And these guys are killing it. We were joking about making them slow down to not make us look bad. But anyway, I've been trying not to like say too much. Like, I have their chat open all day, every day. But I don't really say anything because I kind of want them to like figure out where the game should go, and it's kind of like their interpretation of like what I pitch to them or whatever. The other secret to it is that they're going to run into problems and they're going to have to solve them, and then I get to see how they solved them. So if I ever get to make the game, they went through a lot of the hard stuff first. This is what they had as of this morning. Man, moving right along. This could be super cool. When I started playing with this, I turned to Drew and was like, Drew, I told you, this is the greatest game ever. As soon as you can hit a ball, run your cart into your buddy's cart, it's gonna be sweet.